SCVs, which he's going to probably be sending a lot of them up here. And these Mutalisks kind of heading out now, which at production we can see more Mutalisks, more turrets, and more Marines coming in for their respective players. So these Mutalisks are just massively destructive, and it looks like he's going to go for air weapons 1 now, seeing that this build is successful. But the thing that you got to worry about at these pro levels is players being able to morph their builds. So the FaiLo now producing enough of these guys to be able to counter this fairly easily. The only thing that is keeping this build successful by DeViL is the micromanagement and the ability to move these guys around inside of his base without being attacked. So if he had the money, which it appears he does have quite a bit of money, he could be getting these Mutalisks on the way. He could be building a lot of them, which it appears he's building 3 right now. And he could get a lot of those out, and he could do a lot of damage with those. Which it looks like these Hellions are going to scout him going for those indestructible, or those destructible rocks rather, trying to get to that high yield expansion. And it looks like he's going to be able to chase these guys, and these guys are cornered. So what he can do now is just kind of leave these guys at the base and then send these guys up so that there's no way out. Yep, looks like that's what he's going to do. And FaiLo now taking hits with no way out. So it looks like these Hellions are going to be gone unless he can get them to push through here, which it doesn't look like he's going to be able to as long as those guys are blocking. So absolutely just trapping him up inside that ramp and taking him out. So now we see a couple more Mutalisks on the way, 3 more sitting out there. Those are the 3 that were in production earlier, and we can see DeViL kind of moving around on his selection. Sorry, accidentally paused it there. Looks like our APM for DeViL is very high at the moment, at about 200, and it looks like FaiLo is going to have the higher average APM, which I've already stated my views on APM. I don't think it's that important. I think that there are more important things to a player's gameplay than the rate that they can click. But I guess it does have an effect, some people think. So a lot of Mutalisks in now for DeViL, and DeViL going to be able to take a lot of damage, or dish out a lot of damage, but maybe not, because there are a lot of turrets here, and there are a lot of these Vikings and Marines. So DeViL now, his upgrade should be almost done or on the way, and he's kind of trying to ball them up, but he's not going to be able to do that. This isn't Brood War. You can't ball your Mutalisks into that little micro ball that those players love, which looks like Blizzard has found a way to take that out without making them too mad. And it looks like this Mutalisk build is kind of flopping now with nothing to get past these defenses. So FaiLo doing a very good job of adapting his play. DeViL adapted his play very early, but it looks like we're not seeing that again yet. So let's take production real quick. And there's our infestation play, which that means that he's either going to use infestors, which I kind of doubt it, because nobody has really used infestors effectively that I've seen. And it looks like he's just going to be going for Tech 3, or Tier 3. So he does not have enough for Tier 3 now, and looks like he's actually going to build a Infestor, which that's pretty interesting. Or maybe an Infestor upgrade. Yeah, that's an Infestor upgrade. So very interesting that he's actually going to go for Infestors. So I'm looking forward to seeing Infestors played correctly, because a lot of people have been tricked by how to play them and fail. Now with this upgrade on his Marines, this shield, you can see all their shields there. Very cool. And that gives them plus, I think, 10 health, and makes them a lot stronger against Mutalisks. And along with these 2 medevacs, which 2 medevacs isn't enough. Their medevacs are very weak now compared to the StarCraft 1 medics, and very expensive comparatively also, because they use this ability way too quick. So that would be kind of my suggestion to Blizzard as far as patch 9 goes. Kind of make that ability a little bit stronger. But looks like DeViL now with roaches kind of getting ready to counter this, and also banelings, which banelings, as we've seen before, and if you've watched other replays, are great against Terran ground builds, because when they splat, it's like a siege tank, just even worse with that splash damage. It goes everywhere, and there's acid all over your units, and you know they're burning up and dying, and you're like, nerd rage. So not good, because they go all over the place. So it looks like FaiLo is now going to send these in while he's only got 2 banelings out, and the banelings, you can tell because they're not rolling, they don't have speed upgrades, so not as great as we would want them to be. But it looks like he's going to be able to kill these creep tumors, which I'm not sure why he sprouted that one up. And he's going to be able to come in here and kill this hatchery. This hatchery now going to be a dead one, but it would have been a 3rd expansion for our player DeViL, which could have shifted the tides. So he's still got this large Mutilus build, and he's also got this Infestor, which I haven't covered the Infestor much. So let's see. It's got this Infested Terran it can spawn, which is kind of like a Marine with a deformity, where it works for the Zerg. And then he's got this Neural Parasite, which it allows him to control a unit. But I'm not sure what unit he's going for. Maybe taking out one of these Medivacs could be a valuable asset, but haven't seen much. So Fungal Growth now immobilizes target units and causes 36 life damage over 8 seconds. Very good. I haven't seen this used, so hopefully we'll see this some good play by this, which this seems to be kind of like Ensnare, where it makes it so they can't move, and then it causes them damage. So that's pretty cool. That's kind of a combination of Plague and Ensnare, which says 36 life damage. So against a Marine, that's about 3/5 of their life. It's a pretty good amount, actually closer to 4/5. So taking them down to fairly low health, even with his upgrades. And it looks like FaiLo has no upgrades on these Marines yet, and also looks like he's probably got no upgrades on his Vikings. Nothing on the way, it appears, except for these shield upgrades. And he's got his Marauders also out here, which are great against Zerglings and Roaches. And the Banelings, their kind of counter is the Marauder, because the Marauder can take them out and slow them down before they can reach that critical point where they can explode and get all over your units. And then you've got this large force of Zerglings out here, which he can morph to Banelings, which Banelings are just 25 mineral, 25 gas, which he can afford that, but it's actually a pretty heavy toll on gas. So DeViL now sending out a scout to scout FaiLo's troops standing at this watchtower. Both players controlling a watchtower each, kind of waiting for the other one to move. Kind of both players still a little bit timid, and FaiLo now with his third expansion, so that will put him just about even with our player here, DeViL. DeViL now with a third base actually, and his fourth one on the way in that high yield area. So also DeViL does now have quite a bit of upgrades. These Banelings are speed upgraded, so you can tell that because they roll. It's a cool, interesting system Blizzard put in. I like it. And he's working on upgrades for his Roaches to get them up to missile weapons and ground Carpus, so that will affect all ground units. And he's just got the speed upgrade, so now his Zerglings have wings. So I like the way the Blizzard did the player models, and he's also got his Hydralisk Den in now, which looks like he's going to benefit from this. It's going to be very strong against our Terran player, especially with these Vikings. He's going to be able to kill them finally without having to use Mutilus. So our Terran player moving kind of like a StarCraft 1 style. You guys remember that, where they used to have these big forces moving around the map? We don't see that as much in StarCraft 2, where they've got just a huge force moving around, kind of collectively all placed in one area. And a decision that has proven to be very bad micro for some players before him, FaiLo now placing his Marauders in the front. Maybe that's because he values the Marines more, but against Banelings, whatever you have in the front is going to get exploded. Which, it's kind of good because he does have them in that column there, which they're spreading out now. And Banelings heading in now with this Infestor. So let's see what this Infestor can do. Maybe he'll drop this Fungal Growth ability all over these Marines. And, oh, wow, dropping that Fungal Growth. Marines taking hits, unable to move. Marines being just taken apart. Now FaiLo has no choice but to stay and fight. So he can't pull out now. So it looks like he's going to be taking a lot of damage. Oh, man, that's just amazing. Using combination with these Banelings, that Fungal Growth ability just enabling him to absolutely destroy FaiLo's forces. So DeViL absolutely taking out FaiLo's forces. And it looks like this may be the game for FaiLo. FaiLo now sending out another command center to this bottom right, which is a floating expansion, which I'm not sure about that. You got those Mutalisks, which will be able to find that, and he's also got this here with the Planetary Fortress, but the Planetary Fortress cannot fire against air. So if we got our player DeViL finding either of those expansions, they're both going to go down fairly quickly. And on the other hand, DeViL now getting ready with this this high yield base. Getting ready to send that into full production, and this other base he's got here is well on the way to full production. It's going to be up there pretty soon.